Well, hello everyone. It's Karen McDermott-Rolfe, independent advisor with Creative Memories, and I'm here today to share a scrapbooking technique with you. Now, this is not my normal monthly technique layout and challenge, but just an extra technique that I'm sharing with you today. If you'd like to see my most recent and my past technique challenges, please look for those videos in my YouTube channel here at Karen Krupp's Scrapbooking. You can also find the links on my blog at karenkrups.com. And just a reminder that I offer a generous customer rewards program, and I so appreciate your purchases through my Creative Memories website link at creativememories.com/user/Karen, and it's Karen with a Y. Now, before we get started today, I'd just really like to take a moment to thank all of you so much for your positive feedback about my YouTube channel and the technique videos that I share with you. I'm just so happy to hear that you like these techniques, that you're finding them helpful, that they're giving you ideas, different ideas of how to use the tools that you already have with Creative Memories, and then also seeing some of the most current tools that you might like to purchase. So thank you so much for your feedback. That really makes me really happy to hear. If you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please take a moment and do so below, and that way you won't miss any of my videos, and you'll be able to find my video library rather easily when you're a subscriber. And make sure to click that little bell icon, and you will receive a notification every time I add a new video. So the technique I want to share with you today was inspired and suggested by my cropping buddy, Laura. So Laura, this one goes out to you. I was recently with a group of my scrapbookers at my last weekend retreat, and they were talking about my YouTube channel and the videos, and giving me some of this feedback about them. And I asked them, well, what would you like to see? What do you need help with? And one of the things that I heard was the pens, Creative Memories pens. Now recently, this year we had a promotion where you could buy a bundle of pens and that you received that cute little polka dotted pen holder that wrapped up to hold the pens. Half of the pens you received in that promo were our normal dual tip pens, and then the other half were dot tip pens. And in the past, we've had other dot tip pens, so I know that most of you already have some dot tip pens. Now we know we can make dots with the dot tip pen, but we don't know what do we do with the dots, right? So here are some ideas. Here is an idea anyway for using the dots from the dot tip pens. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a head start today with by cutting a hollow frame, okay? And it's a 1-inch hollow frame. And then I trimmed my white cardstock down to 11.5 by 11.5, okay? And then I'm using this cardstock, and also the paper that I'm using is from our recent Secret Box number 2. So these are the Bright Delight materials. So paper from Bright Delight and some of the exclusive cardstock from the Bright Delight pack that was in that secret box. That was a great secret box. I'll also be using some of the embellishments here on this layout, but it also included an exclusive Border Maker cartridge. So that's one great reason to always consider anyway purchasing our secret boxes, because Creative Memories almost all the time will include an exclusive tool in the secret boxes. We've had 2 boxes already this year, and we'll have 2 more coming up yet. So then I took this sheet of the little kind of sprinkles, that looks like sprinkles that my granddaughters like to decorate our cakes and cookies with, and I cut that to 12 inches by 3 3/4. Okay, so 3 3/4. Looks like I might have cut it a little bit crooked, but that's okay. Okay, so that's 3 3/4 by 11.5, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to adhere that down for now. Whoops, I grabbed my regular tape runner. Usually I'm using my repositional. I'll probably switch back over to that in a minute in case I make a mistake. I can easily correct it by using that repositional. adhesive. But I'm going to just adhere this panel right down onto the bottom of the layout, okay? And now I'm using the dot tip pens, like I mentioned, and I picked out some. I don't have all of the dot tip pens myself. I just have some. And we've had some that are like a darker, richer tones, and then we've had some that are brighter. So I've selected some of the brighter colors, and I'm thinking colors of the rainbow. So I have red and orange. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a yellow one. I can't recall. We might have had a yellow one, but I just don't have it. So instead, I'm going to kind of compromise and use this peach color, and I think it'll work okay. And I think I'm going to use it in the order of the red, peach, orange, and then I'm going to go to green, and it's a lime green. And then I have this blue color, it's kind of a turquoise blue. I can't recall the exact name of the color or the pen. Another one of my croppers. This is a suggestion from my friend Tanya. It wishes that Creative Memories would print the pen colors right on the pen so we can remember. And I agree, that's a great suggestion, Tanya. And Creative Memories does have a special email address dedicated to product suggestions. If you go to our website homepage, scroll to the very bottom, click on Contact Us, and you will see that there's that special email for product suggestions. So if you have an idea for Creative Memories, that is how to get that information to them. And then I'm also going to use, I believe this might have been called Violet, this kind of light purple pen. And so you're guessing what I'm going to do here with my pens? I'm going to try to create a rainbow, okay? Now, I know I'm going to need help or a guide. I just don't want to risk this freehand, and it's a little risky already. I'm going to see how this turns out. As always, when you're doing a new technique, I recommend that you test it out first, and I did test it out, so let's hope that I can duplicate it while I'm on camera. I'm using my jumbo circle cutting pattern as my template or my guide, and this is going to really help, okay? I'm going to start out with this rose red color, and I'm using the dot tip portion of it, and I'm going to start, about halfway down, okay? And see how I'm resting the pen right on the side of the pattern, and then I'm trying to do consistent pressure and the length of time that I hold that pen on the paper. And I'm also trying to do consistent spacing. And I'm trying to talk at the same time. So, my spacing I can already see is not been terribly consistent, but I think it's good enough. And I think when it's all together, it won't be noticeable. Okay, so there we go. And now I said I'm gonna kind of skip colors a little bit. Now at this point, I'm really done with the jumbo template. Okay, I've already have my pattern started, but it did leave a good amount of ink on the tablet. So I have a tissue here, and I'm just going to wipe that ink off before it has a chance to dry there on my template, or that I accidentally get it on my paper, my cardstock. So I've just wiped that ink off right now. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use will be the peach color. And I'm just going to follow the pattern of my previous dots. Again, trying to be consistent. See how I'm leaving the side and the bottom of my palm on my hand on the table. That's kind of providing some stability to it, I think, and it's just scooching it over a little bit. So I think that's kind of a tip. Now I'm going to go to the orange, and again, following these dots. Got a little off there, rounding that corner, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with the green next. You know, I didn't really talk about the dot tip pens, but you'll see, you know, I'm using the dot tip. The other end of the pen is a fine tip, so you could use that for journaling, adding finer pen detail to layouts with the other tip. Now the dot tip works by the amount of pressure that you put on the tip. So if you put a lot of pressure and hold it longer, it's going to make a larger circle. If you do quick little taps, you're going to get a smaller circle. So that's why we say to kind of practice with your pressure. Now I can see things are getting a little bit off here with the blue, and that's because my space has closed in on me, and I don't have as much space for all of those circles because I have a smaller area there. So the purple ones are like a tad smaller, and I think I'm going to do that with the purple one here too. I'm just going to make my circles a tad smaller if I can. Trying to match them up with the blue if I can, and not really worrying about it if it's a little bit off, okay? So I think that looks really pretty well. I'm really pleased with myself, hoping that it would only take one try to shoot the video. I wouldn't have to do it multiple times. So I'm really pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to take a piece here of pumpkin cardstock, and I've cut, this is 12 inches by 4 1/4. So the 4 1/4, that'll be great for some, you know, 6 by 4 photos or 4 by 4 photos, or even smaller sizes I could crop and fit on this photo panel that I've created. And I'm going to just place it now over the edge here of my rainbow, kind of, oh, maybe centering it a little bit. I want, you know, I want to keep a good amount of the rainbow showing. I want some of that paper on the bottom showing. I'm just kind of eyeballing it, seeing what looks good at the moment. I think if I'm looking here at the ruler on my mat, on the right side, I came down to about 4 1/2 inches. On the left side is 8 1/2 inches. And again, this pumpkin mat is 12 inches by 4 1/4. So again, here's all the measurements for you. I started out with the 1 inch hollow frame from the blue to conserve my paper, so I have some blue left. I cut down my white cardstock to 11 1/2 by 11 1/2. The print down below is 11 1/2 by 3 3/4. And then the pumpkin panel here is 12 inches by 4 1/4, okay? And now we're just going to decorate, and I can already see something that I did, which I might not want to do, and I did not use my repositional tape. So let's see how easily I could pry up the pumpkin panel. Here, I was so happy with myself about the dots that I got off track. So since I hadn't really pressed that down very well, and that it hadn't been on long enough, see how easily I was able to pry that up, even using our regular tape, by using the multi-purpose tool and going under it, okay? What I wanted to do, and what I got to adhere, now this is an important element because I think this really adds to the cuteness factor of this layout, is that from some cardstock now that matches my pen colors, more or less, again, the blue color, the purple color, the green color, those are from the, I'm missing the purple, there it is. Those are from the Secret Box Bright Delight cardstock pack, okay? And then the red is our regular Creative Memories red, and then the orange is the Creative Memories pumpkin, okay? And they're 1/4 inch strips. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to switch to my repositional tape. Really important there. And I think right here where I'm this part will be covered with the orange mat, so I'm going to just use that as a place to run this repositional tape on it. I am going to try to match up these strips with the dots. So you can see how that's coming down from the rainbow, like an extension of the rainbow, all right? And I'm going to just put them side by side. Now I don't have that peach color, so I'm just going to skip it. And I think it's all these pieces being a 1/4 inch long are going to fill up that space pretty well. That green looked a little long to me. And the end of it doesn't look terribly straight, so I'm gonna just snip that. Oops, I need to scooch it over just a hair. So it's all side by side. Then we're gonna need the blue. And my purple. I love these bright colors. These are some really fun, great colors. I was really pleased to get these in the secret box. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I just need to trim some of these pieces down a little bit. They're kind of long. Kind of eyeballing it. An extension of the red dots coming down. Orange will be next. Trying to adhere them on straight too. I think my red strip might be a little crooked. So again, with that repositional tape, I can easily pull that up, scooch it over. There we go. Next is green. Again, the strips are 1/4 inch long, or 1/4 inch wide. I just did one 12-inch strip of each. Looks like my green one, I didn't get it quite to the bottom edge. And the blue one too. There we go. Now I need a purple one. The blue one is still not right, and I think I need a little bit more tape on that bottom end of it. So let's see. There we go. Now I can take my pumpkin photo panel. This was where the photos will go. What did I say? About 4.5 and 8.5. Using the mat like this really helps to make sure that you have your pieces on straight. Now that I have those strips on, I think I'm going to come up a little bit. Maybe up to 4 inches. And 8 inches. There we go. Just rubbing away some stray tape there, and I think that's really cool. A cool rainbow. We've got the dots, and then it comes down into the little streamers down below. And now I have some of the, I don't know whether what did Creative Memories call them? They call them foam stickers. So they're not really embellishments, they're foam stickers, and they are actually foam, so they have some great dimension on them. And since they're a sticker, they have sticky on the back. So I'm not going to need any foam squares. And I think this one, I'm going to go right here at the very bottom. I'm kind of just thinking for a minute here what I might do, because I was thinking to add some lines for journaling right down here too. And I'm going to use this little template to draw those lines. Okay, so I think I'm going to kind of center it a little bit in between those strips. It's all, you know, it's not quite centered, but sort of, almost. And then I'm going to use the little flower. I was thinking up here at the top. Which way? Which way do we like it? Maybe this way? And then I have one of these little pieces. What do we want to call those? Stars? It kind of has a 70s vibe to it a little bit, doesn't it? And then I think I'm going to do this one up at the top. I'm going to even go over the blue frame a little bit. So there we have our little visual triangle going on with the placement. And then I do have a blue pen. I'm not sure what color this one was. This is an older one. And it's our regular dual tip pen. So the regular dual tip pens have a round tip pen. So let me see here. So just to show you, it makes a thicker line. It's not a dot tip. If I make dots, I'm just getting little dots. I don't get the big dots like the dot tip. And then it has the fine tip also. But I thought it matched pretty well with the blue cardstock there. And so I thought I would draw my journaling lines with that. And perhaps I should have drawn the lines before I put that foam sticker on, huh? So I am using one of these journaling templates that Creative Memories has had in the past. These have been little promo items. They're really nifty for helping with their journaling, for drawing on lines. Here we go. I think it shows well enough over the, I'm looking at, it doesn't showing up really well. I'm wondering how it might look with the wider lines. I think maybe the wider lines would be fun because we have the wider strips. Let me see if I can kind of get this lined up again. Living dangerously here. And let's see if we could use woo. Hopefully I'm gonna like it. There's no going back now from this. I got a little messy right there. Okay. Yeah, I like that better with the wider lines. I did get some ink on my template, so if I still have my tissue here, I could wipe that off quickly, clean it. You can just use dish soap and warm water and clean the ink off of our Mylar templates. But there we go. So this all came together really cute. So I think this is a great idea for you, Laura, for using the dot tip pens, of making a rainbow shape with them. Extend that rainbow down with some colored strips. And now we have a cute little panel here where I'll be able to put some photos of my granddaughters and make a nice bright summer layout here for them. And then a spot to add my journaling also. All right, I hope you guys like this technique with your dot tip pens. I would love to see some samples and ideas of what you do with the dot tip pens, and share them with me in my Facebook group at Karen's Croppers. All right, everybody, happy scrapping. Well, hello, I am back with a little amendment to my video. After I finished it, And if you recall, I had the big bold blue lines that I had drawn here on my layout for my journaling. The more I looked at those lines and after I photographed the layout, I really did not like them. They were just too big and too bold, and I thought they really distracted from the layout because I really wanted the focus, you know, to be on the beautiful rainbow treatment here, and instead the eye was just being drawn right to those big heavy lines. But I did want a space to do journaling on this layout, so what I did is I cut some 1/2 inch wide strips out of white cardstock. I did a little faux pen stitching on the bottoms of the strip, and then I taped it right over those blue lines that I had drawn with the pen. So I like this much better. It's more subtle. It still has the pretty blue accent with the dashed lines of the pen, and then when I add my journaling, of course, that'll be really great with that. All right, everyone, I just wanted to show you that little bit of a change that I made.